Avengers Assemble, and welcome to episode 27 of Press YYZ. We are your Canadian point of contact when it comes to all things video games and what we love about them. You can find us on Twitter at Press YYZ, where we appreciate any feedback you may have, as well as live in front of a digital studio audience every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern over at twitch.tv/PressYYZ. We're also affiliates, so if you have Twitch Prime, that would be great if you want to hand that our way. I am your host today, Mr. Mitch George, joined by the man of many props, except for tonight, AJ Fraser.
I mean, this hat's kind of a prop. It's an N64 hat. I'm wearing a PlayStation shirt.
Our floppy-haired fella, Alex Ballant.
Avengers Assemble, more like Avengers Divided. Am I right, guys?
Oh, shit.
The always ready Alexander Cozy Cozina.
Well, that was I don't know. Didn't sound like you were ready on that one.
Not in the slightest. That's why that's for you. The phenomenal Nathan McInerney rounds out our cast for the evening. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very good, and I can't wait to play more Fall Guys in the very near future, like right after this recording. Let's
get right into it. Everyone, Fall Guys, so good, right?
Yes.
So I literally started playing it about an hour before we recorded the podcast. Got my first win as well. Mitch was there to see it in all its glory.
I was. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was great. It is probably, and I've only played an hour of it, or like not even an hour, but it's probably some of the most fun I've ever had playing a game. Just on the sheer like insanity and ragdoll physics of it. It's great.
There's like a skill to it too, though. Like I keep seeing people saying like, "Oh, it's just like very simple and messed up," but like there's skill to it and making the right jumps and being smooth.
Yeah.
There is definitely.
There is skill to it, and I'll get my critique of it out of the way now while we're talking about it, and then you guys can throw all your praise on it. I rage quit that thing like twice yesterday when I was playing it. Now, keep in mind I was playing it alone. I didn't get to play with you guys. I was watching you on Nate Plays Games stream. Is that the channel name?
Nate Plays Games.
Yep.
Yeah. I was watching you guys on his stream, and I booted it up myself and was playing as well, trying to sneak into your game, but I couldn't get into it. For me personally, I think the comparisons to things like all the TV shows and stuff, those are obvious and whatnot. And then you've got the game comparisons to things like a Fusion Frenzy, a Mario Party, or a Gang Beast.
Yeah. Or right? Human Fall Flat is another one.
I think where my hang up is the comparison to Gang Beasts, right? Now, Gang Beasts is just sort of this weird game where you beat up on each other, and it's weird and wacky and stuff like that. But for me, like, I really quickly picked up on how to control Gang Beasts really easily. Whereas Fall Guys, I'm struggling. And I think part of it has to do with the physics of Fall Guys. When you jump off a thing and you land on a person and you fall, like, I feel like you should be able to grab onto the ground if your guy falls over so that you don't fall off the ledge or something. And you should be able to, just a little bit more maneuverability would have made it like next to perfect for me. I just, part of it is probably because I was playing alone, but if I was playing with you guys or other friends or something like that, I may have had a better time. But I just wound up being incredibly frustrated by it. All right, now you guys can shower it with praise.
I mean, the biggest piece of praise that I think I can possibly give it is the fact that it's free right now on PlayStation Plus. Like, I don't know if I would have bought this game if there wasn't that sort of no barrier to entry with it. Like, yeah, it looks like a lot of fun, but it kind of is not, like, for me at least, it was something that I had to play it to kind of believe it, and now I really believe it.
Like, it's a lot of fun, but it retails for $30, and that's a big ask for people, like, just to get the number of people you need to into this game to make it as successful as it's been. On launch day, the servers were just done. There was no getting into games for like the first half of the day, and then they just brought the whole thing down because they've put out, there's been over like 1.5 million players, which is just like astronomical for a game like this.
I'd love
to
just
goes to show you. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'd love to see what the divide is on PC versus PlayStation. Like it's probably gonna skew way more to PlayStation, but
Oh,
it
absolutely.
it was still super huge on Steam. Like I think it's on there. I think it's #1 on Steam right now.
Oh, it's been trending super high on Steam, Twitch. I think it took over as the #1 game being streamed on Twitch right now. I'm really curious.
That would not be the case if it wasn't in PS Plus. I swear by the fact that it being in that program has made it a runaway success and probably in the running for a lot of people's game of the year, which is just insane to think about.
Well, I said that yesterday while I was playing. I don't know if it'll take over Animal Crossing, but this is the most fun I've had playing. Yes, it probably will. But this is the most fun I've had playing a game in forever because it's just unadulterated fun and it's wacky and I'm really good at it too. I was getting lots of first place finishes yesterday.
You were real good,
playing.
yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I got the trophy.
First place in races.
Yeah,
I don't think you got a win on stream.
Yeah.
So, what's your secret? Because I, of course, checked out the trophy list for this game, and there's a trophy for winning 5 episodes in a row.
Oh, nobody's gonna be able to.
No one will ever unlock that.
No, that's no.
Like
somebody's unlocked it already.
Which
hold on a sec.
They have
it's
to
got
work
a 0.1% completion on.
It's got to be an employee, right?
You got to get stupid lucky, or
like that's got to be QA or something.
So the trophy is called Infallible. Hold on, I'll switch over to screen view just so people can check it out. Win 5 episodes in a row. On PSNprofiles.com, 0.09% of people have gotten it. And in terms of overall, it's like 0.1. Well, that's basically the same statistic. Yeah, it's very, very low.
Okay, so it's getting better. I had the trophy yesterday for the get 5 first place finishes, and it was only 0.5% of players.
Yeah, but like every other trophy in the game is just something that you will accrue that over the lifetime of playing the game.
Yeah,
and there's some weird wacky ones like fall for 3 seconds and land on your head. So like there's stuff like that that's fun and quirky and will be very fluky to get. The infallible trophy is just impossibly difficult. There is no way more than like 0.1% of players will ever have that.
I mean, if I was going to say private custom room, exactly, and everybody just agrees. All right, Jake will win this time around.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping we get custom ones and just kind of spam through them.
I hope we just get it anyway because like this is like this could be like the ultimate community game, like along with some others. Like this really could just like imagine if we got all of Kind of Funny Toronto.
I was just gonna say that
in a Discord call, all 60 players are all people that we know just playing the game together. That would be insanely fun. Or imagine like doing this at like a LAN party where you could get 60 people. You know, when you're allowed. Yeah, but like imagine having 60 PlayStations all together and just like having people react live. Like this could be this game could have some serious legs when it comes to like event type stuff.
And AJ, I think something that I noticed yesterday is playing with friends, and something today too. Playing with friends is infinitely more enjoyable in this game than it is playing solo.
Yeah. So actually, can I talk a little bit about that? So I played this game myself on my own time with some other friends yesterday, and I found the experience of playing with friends a little bit underwhelming, where I had a lot of difficulty keeping track of, wait a minute, who in my party is still alive and where are they? And it's the thing where like the game's great so far, but I feel like that aspect of the experience, playing together with your friends, IMO, is still in need of improvement.
Were you on voice chat with those friends?
On Discord.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We were just very vocal the whole time. I think the more you talk, the more you'll get out of the experience. Yeah. Well, and we got to situations too where we kind of worked together, especially in like that last round, like
where you wanted to steal the crown from Nate.
Yeah. Or I was playing defense for you for a while, trying to let you get let you have the tail, and I was trying to block everybody else.
Or when you and I were finishing a race 1-2, but you let me finish first and taunt to get 2 trophies, which was great.
Yeah, I got that taunting trophy this morning. But yeah, no, like I think there's definitely communication. One of the things I'd like to see improved is when you're out of the round or you finish early, you can switch between different people's like views. And it'd be much nicer if you could just switch between the people in your party much quicker instead of like scrolling through potentially 45 people to find the people in your party.
Like it's L1 R1 to switch cameras. So just make L2 R2 like cycle through party or something. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be work to do there, but it's not like they don't have the mechanisms available to them. But I don't know how difficult it is on their back end to rather than like not doing a linear cycle and having to pinpoint specific people. Because when you are in a game with friends, you'll see a little red triangle above their head, so you know where your friends are, but that's all you know unless you toggle usernames on and off, which I never do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I would like to say that I have invested money into this game and bought both costume packs.
Yeah, you're running around as Mr. French Fry the whole time.
Yeah, French fries, milkshake, hamburger, unicorn,
large fries, chocolate shake.
I feel like I feel like if I'm gonna keep playing it, I might do that too, just to have the ability to have fuck around costumes.
See, I will do it to support the devs because
that's why
they put out a fun party experience that I hope they add coach co-op to. That is one thing I'd love. I want to get Carmen in this game even now and just be like, play this, because it's 3 buttons. It's not the most difficult game to comprehend, and it's janky as all hell, which is the way it's meant to be. So there's always going to be that element of the physics get you, but that's built into the game, and it's that crap, and I'm going to try again. The one criticism I have, sorry AJ, this is it and I'm done, is when you're making selections in menus. So like when you hit ready or you hit back, there's a delay, but there's no indicator that things are loading or working in the background. So I don't know if I've actually hit the button, which can be a little annoying, but little grievances in a game that otherwise is one I'm going to spend a ton of time on until the Avengers beta this Friday.
So how much do you think the success of Fall Guys so far is due to the fact that the world just needed this game right now, like with the state of everything that has happened this year? They just needed a stupid fun party game right now where you in a world where you can't exactly be with all your friends in person, just try and get some of your friends
I don't necessarily know if that was that big of a contributor to this game's success. One thing I will say is that I feel like it's been a really long time since we've gotten a game of this specific stature launch on the PlayStation Network as a free PlayStation Plus game like this. Like the last major example that comes to mind is Rocket League, and I'm sure there's like 1 or 2 examples in between then, but the fact that this is another game exactly like that launching the way it is, I feel like that is more the result of its widespread success than the state of the world.
I think the game is built to be successful regardless the state of the world, I think.
Yeah, this is like the ultimate Twitch game as well, because you can just it's so engaging to watch your favorite streamer try and win. It's the reason why so many battle royales can be successful, and then this one has the added not niche appeal, but just it's not a shooter as well. It's different enough, and it I think it then also just PlayStation Plus, I think then elevated that to this success level that is kind of unparalleled, where it does crash and go down,
servers are still held together with band-aids.
I think if it was free to play or not free to play, it wasn't on PS Plus day one, I don't think it would have done that, but I think it still would have been huge.
Well, if you go back, the beta, before they announced it was going to be free on Plus, people were already playing the beta. I had already played some of the beta on Steam. And it was getting lots of positive buzz. It was trending well on Twitch at that point, not as well as it's currently doing, but it was already trending well just during the beta period. Influencers had a lot of fun with it. Even Greg Miller's gone on record saying this is one of his E3 Game of the Years of 2019 or Games of Show.
Yeah.
So I think this would have had influencers behind it regardless, which is where it would have caught on. It definitely wouldn't have sold as many copies because of PlayStation Plus, but I think it would have done all right.
I think this is the most accessible battle royale that has ever been 100%. Released. Because it is it is an analog stick and 3 buttons.
Are we battle royale? Is that what we're categorizing this game as?
Yeah, this is a battle royale.
60-player multiplayer.
100% is.
Yeah.
What would you categorize
Race to the top? It's King of the Hill. It's battle royale.
There's a one winner.
Traditionally, battle royales have only been shooters up to this point, except for PlayStation All
Except for
Stars.
Minecraft.
Tetris 99.
Tetris 99.
I said keyword traditionally. That's so when people think of a battle royale, they think of a shooter first.
Yeah.
And then they'll think of Tetris, and then they'll think of something else. But
from my perspective, I feel like for a game to be a battle royale, everyone has to start out in the same game state, and that game state has to persist until the end. For whatever reason, I think that's very critical to a game being considered a battle royale. Do you guys disagree, or?
I think for me, the definition of a battle royale has to be a large group of people, or players, or whatever, compete to be the last one standing.
Yeah, it is the Hunger Games in game form, and I think even though it is
battle royale in game form.
Yeah, if you want to go even further back than the Hunger Games, I was trying to make it so Alex understood what it was. AJ.
Oh right, sorry.
Motherfucker, I'm going to film school. I've watched that movie, asshole.
Oh, it's great.
It was released in 2006.
Why are we assuming?
I know it's a young person joke.
2006 is not that long ago.
Yeah, but you're a baby.
Your joke failed miserably. That's all I'm saying.
At least it's not as bad as the girth joke.
Oh, we've made
jokes. That joke is perfect.
Yeah, no, we've exceeded. It's become so girthy that it has now become lengthy.
Okay, we've also spent a lengthy period of time talking about Fall Guys and the fact that we love it, and we're not going to shut up about it between now and the end of the year. Cody, you've been playing one of my favorite games of all time, and I need to hear more about it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've been playing a little game called Spider-Man 2018, also known as Marvel Spider-Man.
Is 2018 in the title?
It's Marvel.
I mean, I feel like people call it Spider-Man 2018 in the same way they call it God of War 2018.
I would have assumed you were talking about the old one on the GameCube with Tobey Maguire.
Oh, dude. Those ones that in it, they're great.
Hell yeah.
I had completed God of War 2018. I'm like, I feel like I kind of want to get all the other big hits from the PlayStation 4's library out of the way. So purchased my copy, downloaded it up, and started playing. And so to start off with the good stuff, I am shocked by how much I am enjoying exploring this Spider-Man game's version of New York City. Every single Spider-Man game features some version of New York City, but this one is the most photorealistic and detailed one thus far. And I am just so surprised by how much I'm enjoying just running around it and checking out the details and cracks and corners on each and every building in it. I feel like it is so rare nowadays that I find a open world game where I just sheerly enjoy exploring the world as is, and I'm not even that much interested in the meta objectives that are strewn throughout it. But Spider-Man is totally one of those instances that breaks the mold. It's really, really great in that regard. And I want to preface this by saying, I'm not very far into the game, so it remains to be seen if my opinion is swayed. But I can't say that I'm super riveted thus far by the story. I feel like during the past decade, it was a huge trope in superhero media that, hey, your favorite friendly neighborhood superhero, Spider-Man, Batman, is actually friends with one of their nemeses. Spider-Man is friends with Dr. Octopus. Batman is friends with the Joker and Harvey Dent. Will they be friends till the end? Spoilers, they don't remain friends. Inevitably, the Joker or Two-Face or Dr. Otto Octavius will betray them, and they'll be forced to have a sad, tragic, emotional breakdown to the death in the end. And obviously, I don't know exactly how Otto and not Mr. Negative's stories are going to play out over the course of the rest of this game, but I remember literally the moment I encounter them in this game, it's well, I feel like now there's a ticking time bomb to when they're going to betray me. And that is unfortunate, and I hope that the next generation of superhero games find more interesting to do with their superheroes' nemesis.
It's one of the hardest things to do when you have super recognizable characters like that. I remember, I guess, spoilers for the Batman Telltale game, but when Harvey Dent shows up, it's only a matter of time. And then when the choice came up to because there's a choice to save Harvey or save Selena Kyle, I knew it was like, well, he's gonna become, because I knew how Telltale worked. It's like I knew he's gonna become Two-Face anyway, so I'm gonna save Selena and try to like work that relationship out. So it's like you have these super recognizable characters, and unless you're like really gonna try to break the mold with them, like I think the speaking of the Batman Telltale games, I think they did that really well with the Joker and also Harley Quinn, but then they kind of go back on it.
Who's the reporter in the first one that ends
up
Vicky
Vale,
being the villain? Vicky Vale is not a villain in the comics, and they do this here. That came out of nowhere, and that was really good.
They made a new character for that game, which I really liked. Well, like a new character while on a pre-existing character, because like Lady Arkham was a new character, but like I really like that. But it's hard to like when you want to do like you want to be faithful, but also still try to do new things. I think the Batman Arkham games also had a hard time with that, with Arkham Knight specifically, with Arkham Knight, that character. I mean, it was very obvious who he was going to be. I won't spoil that one, I guess, even though that game is 5 years old at this point. So yeah, it's hard for them to balance
They should have just done that as Red Hood. It should have just been Red Hood. I don't know why they didn't do it, but they didn't.
But the Arkham Knight is a truly original character, guys. That was what they were saying before the game came out.
Yeah, they did.
They wanted to subvert the expectation that everyone already had.
Yeah.
But I do want to stress that even though I can tell that it is only a matter of levels before I face off against Mr. Negative, I still am enjoying the writing of the experience. I'm still enjoying seeing Spider-Man interact with Otto and Aunt May and the whole cast of characters. And, you know, at the end of the day, you have to kind of like show a salute and respect that part of the experience. And I'm looking forward to playing more of it.
I'd like to talk to you more about the story once you finish it.
Yeah, definitely.
So
sure. Sorry,
go ahead. I'm good.
No. I was going to move on. So if you have a question,
move on.
No, okay, good. Speaking of story, I had a segue. I wanted to use it, and it just totally got ruined. Speaking of story, I finished the Imagineering story on Disney Plus for the third time because it is the best piece of original content on that service.
What is
Okay, so the Imagineering story is a documentary series from Leslie Iwerks. She is the granddaughter, I think granddaughter, either granddaughter or great-granddaughter of one of the original creators of Mickey Mouse alongside Walt Disney. And it goes through the entire history of the Disney parks and the story of Imagineering. It gives you a deeper appreciation for the people that work at Disney and work on these experiences, especially if you have a desire to get to the theme parks. And they don't always, I mean, I've talked about it on this show a bunch, so I won't spend too much time. They don't just talk about the good stuff. They do talk about the Michael Eisner years where, you know, Disney was only building small parks and people hated them, and some of the shortcomings as well. So it's very, very informative. I learned a lot, even watching it for the third time. And the real reason I was watching it is this is my chance to plug. I'm going to be on an upcoming episode of the podcast Disney Plus Us, and I'm going to talk all about it for like 2 hours with a couple other really, really fun guys. So when that does come out, I'll link it out. But I had a blast just getting a chance to talk about the show and not talking your guys' ears off about Disney for another episode.
I do want to say I am always very impressed when I see the Avatar animatronics. Like say what you will about that weird ass movie, but the animatronics are amazing.
Oh no, and like having been there, so Flight of Passage is one of the 2 rides they put into the Avatar World of Pandora at the Animal Kingdom Park in Walt Disney World, Orlando. And I will stand by the fact that Flight of Passage is the best ride I've ever been on that is not a roller coaster. And I'll leave it at that because it's something if you have any interest in mechanical engineering or story, like or like media, film, immersive tech, it's just it takes you right into the experience. You feel like you're on Pandora, and I cried coming off that ride. It was so overwhelming. It's something special. So if you haven't and you have access to Disney Plus, I will argue that is the best piece of original content and probably one of the best pieces of content period that's on that service.
You became one with Newa, the all-seeing tree.
I didn't go on that ride.
Did you have to Google that, or did you know that off the top of your head?
I knew it off the top of my head.
What? Okay.
Don't ask why.
We will make a
I have
hard
no idea if he's
transition
bullshitting or not.
then into something Nathan's been watching, and that's... I don't either. I'm going to hard transition into what Nathan's been watching, and that's The Umbrella Academy.
Yes, it's very good, and I just want to say I'm watching it. I'm like 5 or 6 episodes into season 10 or season 2. I can't even talk. But it is more Umbrella Academy, and if you enjoyed the first season, my feeling is you will also enjoy this season because it is that good.
Mitch, you have frozen, by the way.
If somebody get a screen cap of that, that's very funny.
Yeah.
it's
Oh.
So much for that new
All right,
webcam.
I ordered a new webcam. It's on the way.
I didn't want to bring
on.
it up, but I needed to say something.
It's the second time it's done at this show. I really need a new one.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
future Alex.
But yeah, The Umbrella Academy is great, and if you like good shows, then you should watch it.
Yeah, I'm 6 episodes into season 2, I think, or I'm on episode 6, and I freaking love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Fun fact: The Umbrella Academy, based on a comic. The comic created by Gerard Way,
yeah.
lead singer of My Chemical Romance. So if you're an MCR fan, there's a lot of aesthetic similarities in the comic to some of their art that they've had on their albums and stuff. Not as much of it carries over to the show, but the show is really, really good.
Yeah, I kind of want to go and read the comics now, especially because I'm about to go to the cottage for several weeks, or for a week and a bit. So not several weeks, thank God. But I don't want to spoil the show because I've read the comic.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, so if you want to check out The Umbrella Academy, it's real, real good. Speaking of reading things, you have to read things when they are on the labels of boxes after you move locations of your living. Alex, you moved.
Wow. First off, great segue. 2, bold
Thank
of you to assume I labeled any of my boxes. 3.
Wait.
Also true.
Hold on, everybody. We have to interrupt the show. Earlier, I said that the tree in Avatar was called Newa. It's actually Ewa, and it's not actually the tree itself. Ewa is the guiding force and deity of Pandora, and the tree is like a catalyst, basically, for the god, or something to that effect. All right, keep going.
Literally, the only thing I remember of Avatar is Jake Sully, and that's just because of that one Funhouse bit that Elise does all the time, where she dresses up in the Avatar makeup.
The only thing I remember about Avatar is that it's a ripoff scene for scene of Pocahontas.
But with Halo mechs. So yeah, I moved.
With Halo mechs, yes.
I moved. If you couldn't tell, the location is a bit different.
You mean by moved? You mean you just turned your desk around the other way, right?
Yeah, this was what was behind me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am. So it's just so I spent all day yesterday, Tuesday, August 4th, just unpacking everything, and I've pretty much got everything all set up. I moved because I'm going to be living closer to school because I don't want to do 2-hour TTC rides anymore. Because
as someone who did that for 4 years, you're making the right choice.
Yeah, I did that for less than 1 year, and I already knew that I wanted to change that. But yeah, so I one of the coolest things that I've done is I have a 65-foot light strip that goes around the entire room. So when it actually gets dark, I get this really cool atmospheric lighting. If you go onto my Twitter, twitter.com/blatantly_Alex, plug, there's a really cool picture that I took of me like sitting at my desk, like with all like the neon lighting and just kind of vibing with it. So I love it. It's super atmospheric and just it feels it's kind of weird. I had this thought this morning of like it feels like I'm in like a motel or a hotel right now because it doesn't feel like this doesn't feel like home yet. So, talk to me in a week and I'll see how I'm feeling.
Yeah,
but
I felt that way when I moved into this apartment for probably like 3 to 4 months. It just felt off. Like I was sleeping in a place that isn't where I should be sleeping. Eventually that feeling fades where I was just like, when I lived at home still, I didn't have a room. It was just a bed in the basement, like in the rec room. So when I moved in here, I had a door on my bedroom which was weird for a very long time. And it's just those little things that are different that you get over as time passes.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question about the lighting in your room, Alex. Can you control the coloration of your lights? Because previously, before we went live, it was blue to the max, and now it's a rosy warm red.
So
is it like a remote, or is it through your computer?
So I have the light strip the light strip has its own individual remote that I basically just taped to the wall. It's right by the light switch, so it's almost like every time I enter the room, I get to be like Tony Stark and go boop, boop, and then turn on my lights. It's really cool, and I'm also a child. Then I have 2 lamps. One of them is in the corner over there because it's not plugged in because I don't have a table yet for it. But the other 2 lamps are controlled by my phone. I've got the like Wi-Fi light bulbs in them, so I can change the colors to whatever I want, and I love playing around with it. So
the next thing you need to get is either a Google Home or an Amazon. I'm not going to say the word, or mine will wake up, because being able to enter my house and be like, keyword I'm home, or keyword shut the fuck up, is so satisfying.
Alexa,
I love my Google Home.
Alexa, order 60 plastic bags.
My headphones are on, you dingus.
Somebody is going to be very upset by you in like a week.
Speaking of people being upset, AJ, what have you been playing this week?
Okay, so really quick, I jumped into Halo 5, but on xCloud, just because I had forgotten a lot of that game, and as discussed in previous podcasts, probably for good reason, but I'm not hating it. I'm trying to approach it optimistically and trying to see the value in there at the moment. I will say one of my criticisms right off the bat in like the first mission, which is called Osiris, which is Locke's team. You don't want to start. You don't want the players of your game to sit through something they should be playing. And the opening scene is so friggin' cool, where they skydive like onto this planet, and they're like skiing like Tribes Ascend down a mountain, or like sliding down a hill like in Apex or something like that, and they're jumping off shit and they're beating the Covenant down and everything, shooting things, and just like imagine if like there were parts of that were, I'm not saying QuickTime Event interactive, but like they could have found a way to make that different.
Like they were showing things in that cutscene of like part of the like I don't remember any of their names, but like the red one going inside a ship and taking out the pilot, and then the ship Vale. Oh man, I think it was Laura Bailey. Well,
it was.
Whatever. Who cares?
I care.
Who cares about any of those characters? Like she goes inside the ship and she takes down the pilot and the ship crashes. Like imagine if you got to do that in gameplay.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
It literally, like, that cutscene ends, and it ends right at the bottom of the cliff, and then you're supposed to play, and you're just like, wow, I really wish I could have done that whole thing. Like, it's such a weird decision. And I think that's the antithesis of 343's approach with that game. It's just like, why did you decide this was the best option?
Yeah, and I mean they tried to be open and honest with like the second Spartan team, and you were going to be going back and forth because it was a surprise in Halo 2 that the fans actually didn't like at first, going back and forth to the Arbiter, but
there was a notorious leak about it, and people were very upset.
Yeah, and everybody ended up liking it in the end, so I guess they figured it would be, oh, you know what? If we're honest with them at the beginning, they'll understand, and you know what? The game should have just been all. I actually don't mind the fact that it's you're not alone and you're with your blue team with the Master Chief and everything like that, but it should have just been all Master Chief and blue team. And yeah, that's about what I've been doing.
Sweet.
How is it on xCloud specifically? Because I know Halo 5 is super, super fast paced. Like that's like part of like the gameplay design of it. So how is it playing that on xCloud?
It's actually fine. So I've got a game clip on my PS4 controller, so that's what I'm using to play it. And aside from being a little bit the video specifically looking a little compressed. As long as my my router doesn't automatically switch me over to 2.4 gigahertz instead of 5 gigahertz, it's absolutely fine. If not a little compressed on the phone.
Okay. Okay.
So, but otherwise it plays fine. It's Halo 5, especially like with the HUD of Halo 5, where they took up some of the screen real estate with like the inside of your helmet instead of just the HUD.
Right.
Which is an interesting choice. I think they actually did show enough of the screen, and there is enough stuff visible that you can easily land headshots and whatnot when you're just fighting the alien bad guys. So yeah,
cool.
I am approaching this optimistically, and I have 2 levels in, and I'm enjoying myself. So
what device are you playing on?
Pixel 4 XL.
A Pixel 4 XL. It's a great phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of xClouds and Halos and phones and clips, let's get into the news.
Hot news.
Before we hold on, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you while you're on your
good segue. God damn it!
Yeah, it was like 7.5 out of 10. I just want to say very quickly that on my personal Twitch channel recently, I did a commentated playthrough of a game that I recently made in Core. You might remember how previously I made a game called Planet of the Toilet Toads in Core for the Kind of Funny Game Jam, which was a third-person squad-based shooter in which you defeat toilet toads and attempt to capture points on the Planet of the Toilet Toads. This is my follow-up to it. It is a I guess like first-person exploration puzzle adventure game in the vein of experiences like Dear Esther or Gone Home. It will take you about 5 minutes, but if you would prefer not to play it and just watch someone else play it, you can go to my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/CozyBearLive, and watch me play through it and kind of talk through my creative process. I had a really fun time making the game, and I had a really fun time playing it and talking about it there. So go and check it out if it's of any interest to you.
Do you need somebody to make a thumbnail for the VOD of that? 'Cause I can do that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, actually. Yeah. I'd appreciate it. I mean, sure. We'll talk about it off air.
Sure.
So you'll talk about that off air, but what we will talk about on air is the news.
That was actually a pretty good segue as well, gotta say.
Yeah, that was 7.8 instead of 7.5.
Again, too much water. So now that it's not a Halo segue, I'm not going to talk about Halo first, so that's fine. Another piece of news that we've gotten this week is courtesy of Bloomberg News that Blizzard workers have started sharing their salaries in revolt over wage disparities, coming to us via, great reporter Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg. And yeah, employees at Activision Blizzard are pissed and have started circulating a spreadsheet to anonymously share their salaries as well as recent pay increases, which is just the latest example of rising tension in the industry over wage disparity and executive compensation. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick is, notoriously known for how much freaking money he makes every year. And it's so awful to see people who love what they're working on if they're at Activision Blizzard, because part of working there is the pedigree of knowing you're working on some of the biggest video game properties in the world, but you're taking a cut versus what you can make at other places because you want to stay and work on these things you love. And that's not a great way to treat your employees. So have you guys had a chance to check out this news? What do you think?
It just really feels like Blizzard is continuously falling from grace. Like they've been doing it for the last couple of years, and just the fact that they even just like can't treat their employees like this, and that this even had to be a thing. I'm really glad that we're finding out about this, just continuing to remove that curtain on Activision Blizzard and just showing just how fucked up that company is and how terrible like stuff like this is. Like, you know what? Shit on EA all you want. You never hear shit about this from them. You don't hear stuff about this from them.
Here's the thing. Maybe this is going to inspire other people at other companies to try and do the same, because it's a bit of a fallacy that companies try to say that no, you're not allowed to talk about your wage. At least here in Canada, it's against the law for them to suggest that. And they have other ways of kind of bullshitting around, like, oh hey, whatever we talked about in this meeting is confidential, that sort of thing. That doesn't mean you can't talk about the raise you just got, but they try to spin it that way. So, in my opinion, we should be more open outwardly about the wages that we make. Like, I'm not saying out yourself here on this podcast, but like with your coworkers, to try and force these big companies and people like Bobby Kotick to just do better for their employees at the bottom who made them those millions and are struggling themselves to make ends meet.
Yeah, like examples in the article. So a lot of like producers and engineers in video games will make a reasonable wage, but oftentimes game testers and customer service representatives, they're going to be making nothing. They're going to make minimum wage living in some of the most expensive cities in the world, because a lot of these companies take up residence where, talent is at a premium, and those places are going to be more expensive to live in traditionally. And something I really hope from all of this, and there's been, whirling rumors that for a company this large, if Activision employees decided they wanted to unionize, they could totally make it happen. It would be really, really, really hard. But for a company of that size, like, they could totally overrun management when it came to having talks of unionization. We've seen this in recent years from other industries and from other developers, and it would be great to see employees decide that they can rise above what it is that they're, being told at this employer, because the way they're being treated is not right. The way Bobby Kotick is being compensated when everyone under him is doing the bulk of the work is not right. And hopefully we see some change come from this.
Yep.
Yeah. I just want Blizzard to more than anything, I want Blizzard to regain that status that they once had of like, this is one of the best company, like one of the best developers working today. And they just, for so many reasons, are fallen so far from that.
We had a similar issue with Bungie and Destiny in that regard, with like, hey, Destiny could have been a better game. Like, even though so many people do like and love that game, it could have been better if it weren't gutted because Activision wanted to push it out a year early.
Yep.
So
yeah.
And we may be seeing that similar thing happening in another title, and it is the reason that I am wearing an Avengers hoodie tonight. And that game is Marvel's Avengers. And we've gotten some more news this week that I will politely say has rubbed some fans the wrong way.
I can't think of anyone who's actually like happy with this besides like hardcore fanboys.
I just want to say,
slaves rejoice.
I want to say,
people know what the news is and then get into it.
I mean, I feel like they already know what the news is if they're watching this podcast or listening to it.
Under a rock who do not keep up with what's going on over at Ye Old PlayStation blog,
like my girlfriend,
it has been confirmed that Spider-Man will be coming exclusively to PlayStation consoles in Marvel's Avengers.
I feel like, to what you guys were just saying, this is one of those news stories where the moment it broke, people were immediately like, oh man, this is kind of crappy. There wasn't a grace period where people were like, oh man, Spider-Man's coming to PlayStation. It was like immediately, this is problematic. We need to talk about it.
Because I think we've gotten to a point in 2020 where these exclusivity deals for content in games, like exclusive games is one thing, yeah, but content exclusivity has kind of gone away. So to see this almost backtracking is strange.
This is also just completely, I think this is completely different to say a year ago when the Call of Duty Modern Warfare, like that one specific mode got locked to PlayStation for a year. People were upset about that, but it didn't really matter. This is Spider-Man. This is Marvel's literal most popular character being locked off from 2/3 of the player base.
To add to that, the day after they announced that Spider-Man was going to be exclusive on PlayStation, they detailed more of the content that was going to be timed exclusive to PlayStation, and that is there's some community challenges and cosmetics and things like that that will be timed on PS4 and PS5, which is fine because when the game was announced, it was announced with the expectation and with the idea that PlayStation was getting exclusive content. And people joked about, oh yeah, what if Spider-Man's exclusive to PlayStation because, you know, Marvel's Spider-Man. And that actually happened. And people are losing their goddamn minds on the internet.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's also like people were bringing up briefly comparisons to what is it, Soul Calibur 2 back in the day, which had exclusive characters like Link and Spawn and whatnot. Well, yes, but also it's like, you know,
Hayachi was the one that mattered.
Yeah, he was the best character.
No,
the difference between something like that and this, right, is that Link was somebody who had always been a Nintendo IP, always was exclusively associated with that specific platform. Spider-Man, someone who up until recently, you know, has appeared across all the various different consoles, and it's only very recently that Sony has sort of tried to lock him down as a PlayStation exclusive character, and it's pretty shitty.
Yeah,
but it's effective. People were already planning on buying the PlayStation version because it was going to get exclusive content, and now that exclusive content is literally the most popular character Marvel has.
Yeah, like their stranglehold on Spider-Man across all forms of media has
except
always
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Go Switch.
Which is you know funny because it's literally the same voice actor too for Spider-Man. But
yeah,
regardless,
do you guys think Yuri Lowenthal is going to be back for this Spider-Man? I wouldn't doubt it.
Here's the thing. I hope they don't do that because this is clearly not going to be Insomniac Spider-Man in the Avengers game. So if you
neither was the Marvel Ultimate Alliance Spider-Man. But that's still got him.
That's different enough because like the art style to that game is so much different that this is like if you have a realistic looking Spider-Man with like photorealistic graphics that they're going for like in this art style of Avengers, and then also if you have like, there's no doubt that the White Spider is going to be an unlockable costume. Like, there's no fucking doubt about that.
Oh, 100%.
If you have Yuri's voice coming out of it, I think that just muddies the waters a little bit. I mean, I would be cool because I think he's a perfect Spider-Man, but I also kind of like, you know, get someone different.
Or I think they should
put some attention to other heroes that aren't Spider-Man.
They should get whoever voiced Hayachi in Soul Calibur 2 to voice Spider-Man.
No, this is who they're going to get, and hear me out because I think it would actually be really good. They get Drake Bell.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
That would be so
good.
So fucking good.
I'm not familiar with Drake Bell.
Yeah,
Drake Bell starred in a Nickelodeon show known as Drake and Josh. Which, if you want to find video of that, that would be fun.
The Amanda Show, all that. Yep.
Yeah, he was one of those Nickelodeon kids. But he voiced Spider-Man in the Ultimate Spider-Man show, if I remember correctly.
It wasn't very good, but he was good in it.
I thought it was very good.
Was that the one that came after Spectacular Spider-Man?
I was going to say, was he Spectacular or Ultimate?
No, he definitely wasn't. Yeah,
no,
he wasn't.
I can't remember who it was in Spectacular.
He wasn't in that. I know that for sure. He was.
Yeah, so it had to have been Ultimate Spider-Man, which was I liked it. And he was great.
Fine. I'm going to go on a limb here and say that Drake Bell Vivo is not the Drake Bell you guys are talking about.
It might actually be because he is like he's
also a musician.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he do a song called Fuego Lento?
That doesn't sound right, but I don't know. Is Fuego Lento
possible. He's an adult
from
now.
him?
Can I just
Carmen
segue back
confirmed,
to something here?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
So Cozy brought up that the person who voiced Hayachi in Soul Calibur 2 should voice Spider-Man. It's actually Kevin Michael Richardson voiced him and Spawn in the game. So he's actually quite the well-known voice actor. And
by
potentially
the way,
could do that.
Is this the Drake Bell, by the way, just to confirm?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
You nailed it.
Okay, so
I'm not looking at the Twitch, so I'm counting on them to confirm.
So it is. So back to this exclusive deal because we kind of got a little bit sidetracked. There's a few. The biggest concern that I have with this is if you are locking Spider-Man behind this console wall, that how much time and attention are they going to put into Spider-Man? I know he's a big deal, but 2/3 of the players are not going to be playing him. So is he going to be integrated into? I mean, probably. I'm not.
One quarter of SKUs won't be playing him. You can't forget Stadia. But I think in terms of number of players, you're welcome, AJ. In terms of number of players overall,
yes, people.
The majority is going to play on PlayStation. Even before this announcement, they were going to. Just
it's a
by
way
sheer
bigger
number of consoles.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm just like, I'm worried, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to be integrating him into the stories that they're going to, like, the future stories that they're going to be having? If he
That's my thing. They
like,
can't.
Are they going to integrate him into the cutscenes and have him be on the Xbox version, but you can't play as him? Like, there's so many.
That would be awful.
Yeah, but you want Spider-Man, if you're going to put Spider-Man in your Avengers game, you want him to be significant. How are they going to balance that with the Xbox and the PC version?
It'll be like the trailer. It'll be like the trailers for Captain America: Civil War, where they just green screened him out. They edited Spider-Man out of the trailers.
But that means that he can't have any story significance. Like,
in my opinion, what should have happened was he comes out on all the other platforms because he's just a good advertisement for PlayStation's Spider-Man solo experience game.
Yeah, it's like
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, my biggest thing more than anything, and
it's to be timed exclusive more than anything, but I don't think we're ever going to get confirmation of that because of the legalese of this contract.
Yeah. Not until it comes out on Xbox and PC that we will know if it is timed exclusive or not. And I believe that it probably will. I think it'll probably be like that Call of Duty mode where I think there's a Destiny raid that is exclusive to PlayStation where it's like a year long. My biggest thing
backfired on them real bad.
Yeah. Like this is peak scumbag move because I was going to play this game on PlayStation no matter what because that's where everyone who I know who is getting this game is going to be playing it. My biggest thing is like now the Xbox and PC versions of these games are objectively worse than the PlayStation version just because you are literally missing content. And one of the biggest things that they've been advertising is that all the post-game heroes are going to be free. So you have you're telling people, please spend the same amount of money for this objectively worse version of our game.
Well, not worse, but lesser.
Yeah, okay. That's
right.
That's better.
We already knew that the other versions were going to be lesser because of the announcement of exclusive PlayStation content. We didn't know to what scale that was going to be until this week. Literally a week before launch, they detailed the community challenge things and Spider-Man. And I know that the contracts around Spider-Man have been notoriously difficult to
It's only
negotiate.
The film rights. It's only the film rights.
Yeah, I know.
We say that, but I don't think that's 100% the case.
I don't think that they didn't have much to say for this other than we're really excited to work on Spider-Man. So I don't think this is something they've been working on for very long. If they had announced this when they first announced the game of Spider-Man exclusive to PlayStation as part of like a reveal a year or two ago, it would have hurt, sure, but it would have been a lot less painful than literally a month before launch.
Yeah. Like clearly this must have been a deal that just got finalized because we literally only saw like the Avengers logo with the little Spider-Man tag on the bottom of it. So it's like this clearly hasn't been in development for very long, but they probably just want to try to start generating hype for it. Like I just also wish that because Spider-Man already has his own badass PS4 game. It's getting a sequel. We're getting one this year, like a spin-off game in that universe. Why does Spider-Man need to be in Avengers so early? Please shine a light on some of these other heroes who haven't gotten their time to have an amazing PS4 game. Like I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel hero. He's probably my favorite fictional character. I kind of wish
I'm with you there.
I kind of wish he wasn't in this game. At least not initially. Like, I don't know.
I would like Squirrel Girl in the game.
Hell yeah, Squirrel Girl.
I want Star-Lord,
Captain Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy, Fantastic Four, the X-Men. There's so many more options that I would have rather had than Spider-Man.
No, don't put any humans in it.
So I have an idea. What if they pull a Punch Out and in the Xbox and no, hold on. What if in the Xbox and Stadia and all the other versions of Marvel's Avengers, they replace Spider-Man with a very similar character who nonetheless looks a slight bit different and has a slightly different name, in the same way that they replaced Mike Tyson with Mr. Dream?
You're saying that they're going to feature Night Monkey in the other versions of the game.
There's been a lot of people who've made that Photoshop of adding Night Monkey into it, or
Xbox.
just our grapple hook guy, or just something like that. Like, you know what? I would have been okay with that. I mean, or Private Jeebus actually in our KFTO Discord had the best possible version of this. Is Xbox and PC get Miles Morales, and then PS4 gets Peter Parker,
which would never happen because
I know
they're
it
got a
wouldn't.
Miles Morales game this year, right?
I was just say they could get Spider-Gwen.
Or Spider-Gwen, or Spider-Man 2099, or Spider-Man Noir, or any of the millions.
Again, I think we're underestimating the intricacies of the contract that Marvel has with Sony for
the movie rights.
for the Spider-Man games. Even I think there was a lot. There's probably a lot more in that, like keeping it off other consoles, and they probably have to go to, like, I don't know. Again, this is all speculative. There's probably a lot they have to clear with Sony from a game, like with PlayStation, from a games perspective. So maybe it is that, oh yeah, since Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was funded by Nintendo and never coming to a Sony platform, sure, Spider-Man characters can be wherever you want. We don't care. It's not competition. At this point, it's competition, and maybe that's driving some of this. Because Marvel just has a tighter relationship with PlayStation than anyone else.
Yeah.
And that's it for me. Go.
Insomniac was very, very clear that Marvel Spider-Man would not exist if it wasn't for PlayStation. So there's definitely a lot. There's definitely a very tight relationship between Marvel games, PlayStation, and
Well, I'm sure the same is true of Iron Man, and we've heard the same about Marvel. Sure. They've said Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 would not have happened without Nintendo. Even though it was Team Ninja that worked on it, without Nintendo's funding, it doesn't happen. So the Marvel game strategy is interesting. And we could probably talk about Avengers for another 3 hours.
So let's hope we should probably move on. Something, please, Xbox. Work with Marvel.
Okay.
I think they should just straight up feature Mr. Dream from Punch-Out instead of Spider-Man.
Like, say it doesn't matter because the game's gonna be trash anyways.
Put Master Chief in Avengers.
He's got a grapple hook now.
Let's move on.
So one last thing. I'm sorry. Marvel means a lot to me. So what would be cool to see is the rumored Eidos Montreal Guardians of the Galaxy game comes back exclusive to the Xbox Series X. That's honestly what I want to see.
I just want Marvel to get in bed with Xbox at some point.
They have to. And with that, I think we should move on. The next news story we have was broken on Twitter by Jeff Keighley, in that we kind of got confirmation of something we already knew, in that a standalone version of GTA Online will be released for free for PlayStation Plus subscribers when the PlayStation 5 version of GTA 5 launches in 2020.
Wasn't this said at the PlayStation reveal?
It wasn't this clear.
Okay.
It wasn't
they said PlayStation GTA 5 would be coming, but they didn't say that GTA Online would be standalone.
Okay.
They did say that GTA Online was going to be free for PlayStation Plus subscribers. So the assumption was there would be a standalone client.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I didn't make that connection. I would have just assumed that, hey, buy GTA 5 and you don't need Plus to play online.
Nope.
I'm really happy that they are doing this, in the sense that now for all the people who want to play, like if they want to just hop into the multiplayer, they can theoretically just download the multiplayer. I hope they do the same thing with the single player. Let me just download the single player. I know it's still going to be huge, but not as big. It's nice that I like the idea of more game companies dividing their games up by download, so you can choose. It's like, if I just want to play the multiplayer, I can just play the multiplayer. If I want to just play the single player, I can just download the single player.
And I mean, they've talked about that being a feature in next gen, of compartmentalizing games in such a way that you're only going to need to download the pieces you want.
So,
the whole kit and caboodle.
Do you think Activision is going to play ball with that? Because you have to download the entirety of Modern Warfare just to play the Warzone Battle Royale.
They used to do that on Steam, so it's not that they're completely against it. I think the reason why they did that was because Warzone is free to play. So it's like, if you get them to download Warzone and then are being like, hey, why don't you play Modern Warfare? It's already downloaded. All you need to do is give us the money for it and you can immediately start playing. I think that was a very specific decision. I think when we see the next Call of Duty, I mean, I don't own these games on Battle.net, but when they were on Steam before, you could just download the multiplayer or you could just download the single player if you wanted. So they're not inherently against that. And so I think Warzone was a very, very deliberate decision.
We're not talking about Warzone or Call of Duty or this news really right now. So let's move on to actual news. And that is the Street Fighter V summer update. I care nothing for Street Fighter V. Nathan, take it away.
Ooh, this was exciting. They had a video today talking about a bunch of the new characters coming to Street Fighter. Because they are doing a season 5 and it's going to be the last season of Street Fighter content. So they announced four of the 5 upcoming characters. The first one is a fan favorite, and Dan Hibiki, who is one of the most terrible characters in the game, but he's super fun to just play as. Then we've got Rose returning from the Alpha series. She was also in Street Fighter 4, but she's also a fan favorite, so it's good to see her. Oro, who's coming, hasn't been in a game since Street Fighter Third Strike, is going to be coming to the series, back to the series, which is excellent. There's not a lot of Street Fighter 3 characters that make a lot of reappearances, so that's cool. And then the biggest out of left field, most exciting moment is that the last character, the 4 of the 5 characters that they announced, isn't from a Street Fighter game. It's from the Rival Schools games. The last time we had a Rival Schools game was on the Sega Dreamcast with Project Justice. So Akira from Rival Schools will be joining the roster of Street Fighter 5. And that gives me hope that we see another Rival Schools at some point here, because it's been a long time. There's also been some other stuff here. There's going to be a free trial of Street Fighter V coming up, and they've got all of the games on sale right now for purchase. And the timing for this new Season 5 roadmap that they're going to be releasing everything for. So, a lot of just cool stuff. They even got Kenny Omega to make some announcements, including some new AEW crossover Street Fighter shirts, which will be available as well.
Yeah, actually, I think I saw Cody wearing a Street Fighter Cross AEW shirt on last week's Dynamite. That was cool.
Yeah, they've got one with Dan Hibiki and Kenny Omega playing Street Fighter 2 on arcade, one of the Street Fighter games on arcade against each other.
Yeah, the Cody one I think was M. Bison, which I think is great and is indicative of an upcoming heel turn, which I'm all here for. But we're not here really to talk about AEW. We're here to talk about Halo, right, Alex?
Hell yeah! So interesting news coming out after. So on a toy website for the Xbox Series X, like the pre-order page, like the pending page, there was a leak about Halo multiplayer being free to play. And then it was confirmed by Halo that the multiplayer will be free to play, will support 120 frames on Xbox Series X, which obviously the free to play part is the big news. I have some reservations about this because free to play means microtransactions, means heavily monetized. Halo 5, even though it wasn't free to play, had a very notoriously bad monetization scheme with the rec packs, and everyone hated it. 343 has come out and said that they're not doing rec packs anymore, so it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do. The theory is that they're probably going to do a battle pass, which they've already dabbled with the Master Chief Collection that they've added in. So they've gotten their feet wet with it. I think a battle pass is probably the best way to do it. It depends what the unlocks are going to be. But the biggest thing about this is just I'm really happy that this is going to be the case, because it means that the player base for this game is going to be huge at launch, no matter what. Because there's some people who are even like, oh, the Game Pass $15 is too much of a hill for me to go over. So now there's literally no barrier to entry with this game, and that means that the player base, and eventually when there is a battle royale mode, because there probably will be, it means
it's
that
going to happen. It's inevitable.
Yeah. It is inevitable.
Okay.
They're building Halo Infinite to be a platform, and it's not going to be an individual experience. Maybe they release more single player content, but the Halo multiplayer client, whatever it's going to be, is going to be a platform that lives on throughout this next generation, even though Microsoft isn't believing in generations anymore. And I think it's the right move for Halo multiplayer, honestly, and it'll be interesting to see.
I do too.
Okay. Halo, ODST, but it's the battle royale, and where you already got people dropping in. Imagine you're dropping onto the Halo ring, and it's
it would be super cool.
Like, but it's about
first person like the game. Like I would love that. The pieces are there. We just need to see it.
The pieces, and the lore pieces are there already. Like you could, like it's. They. Do I have faith in that they're going to do it right? I think they'll get at least halfway right, and then they can fix it in post later, right? So
we'll have to
and that's
see.
the thing, is it's going to be a platform, right? So they might not get it right initially. The monetization could be awful, but they can fix it.
Okay.
They can always fix it. And
I just think it's awesome. There's gonna be a huge player base at launch. I'm excited about that because I like Halo multiplayer.
I'm going to be in there 100% day one with you. And there's reasons for that, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But for now, let's head into read/watch all the things. And, oh, God damn it, who put another friggin' Spider-Man article in here? Oh, right, that was me. So over on Forbes, Paul Tassi, a senior contributor over there, wrote a great article.
I actually was showing this. I was showing this on screen earlier. In fact, this is what we linked to earlier when we were talking about the news.
And again, Cozy, it's not all about Twitch.
Well, I know, but it's like, but we literally talked about this already.
I just want to let people know there's a great expose or a great opinion piece from Paul Tassi over at Forbes on why Spider-Man in Sony's Avengers is bad for all players, including those playing on PlayStation. And it's a very interesting read, regardless of whether or not you agree with it, because I know there are people that are it is a very polarizing.
It's a good business move.
It is a phenomenal business move, but a crappy PR move. Either way, it's a great read if you want to go check that out. The next thing that we have is one that I know is near and dear to a couple of our hosts' hearts, and that's that Akihabara is saying goodbye to the landmark giant Sega arcade as it is closing for good.
This means arcades are dead, right?
Like they've been dead for 20 plus years.
Well,
but Cody, AJ, I know this one's closer for you guys because you've been here. So take it away.
Go ahead, Cozy.
I mean, it doesn't specifically mean that arcades are dead. In fact, in general, in Japan, arcades are, I wouldn't say that they're thriving, but they've managed to find their niche and they managed to hold on to that niche for a while. It's not totally clear exactly why this arcade is closing. Undeniably, the kind of lack of foot traffic as a result of COVID-19 is partially to blame, but apparently it was sort of on the fritz even before COVID-19 swept the world. It's too bad. I previously visited Akihabara when I was living in Japan in 2016 and 2017, and I was searching through my photos previously. Unfortunately, I did not take any pictures of that building specifically, but I very distinctly remember that building. It's one of the most iconic buildings in that district, and it's going to be sad to see it go.
Yeah, in Japan, it's kind of a landmark. If you've seen pictures of Akihabara, it's the Sega building with the escalators basically on the outside with Sega written on the side. It's just super cool, super futuristic Japan looking. And it's I think it says less about arcades and more about Sega at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate that that's happening, but what is also maybe not equally unfortunate, but a bit of a slip up is that a Zelda recipe has appeared in a serious novel by a serious author after they supposedly rushed a Google search and just copied something into their book.
Is that plagiarism?
See, it would have been fun if that was like a reference. But is it plagiarism though?
Okay, so John Boyne, the author behind the acclaimed Boy in the Striped Pajamas, says he must have done a Google search and copied it over after several ingredients from Zelda appeared in his most recent book, A Traveler at the Gates of Wisdom, which is just hilarious. And I want to read the quote from the book verbatim, the sentence, because it just is as outrageous as you would think. In addition, for the red I had used for Abrilla's dress, I employed spicy pepper, the tail of the red Lizalfos, and 4 Hylian shrooms. Really?
Yep.
God damn it.
Isn't it Hylian?
Yeah, it's Hylian.
Sounds like a fake fan to me.
Whatever, we're moving on. When Xbox announced that xCloud was coming in September, they also showed off a whole bunch of new gaming accessories for xCloud, and that's neat.
They also said it isn't coming to iOS.
Which makes sense because iOS terms of service does not allow you to build apps that do cloud streaming. If it is a cloud streaming app, you have to physically own the computer that it is streaming from. And that is why apps like Stadia and like xCloud are
I think Stadia works now.
And it works with the remote play too, right? Like for
So
PlayStation?
You physically own
the
PlayStation
machine
for remote play, so that's
interesting.
where they get around it.
So that is the crux of the problem, is with Apple and their antiquated policy of not allowing cloud streaming on their platform, and hopefully it changes very, very soon.
I doubt it.
Or I'll get Pixels.
But then I would have to get a Pixel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have a great phone.
Listen, the Pixel 4a just got announced for pre-order, and it's their budget version, and it's actually surprisingly good according to MKBHD.
I'm getting one for my wife.
Carmen has the budget iPhone, the iPhone SE, and it is also very good. And you could not pay me. Actually, no, you could probably pay me to switch from iOS to Android. But
if it was a free phone for you, maybe.
I've gone back and forth. My first smartphone was the HTC Desire Z, which had a different name in the US, but it was essentially an Android phone with a physical keyboard that was very neat. And I'm sure Cozy's going to find a picture of it.
Wait, I don't even know what you just said.
HTC Desire Z.
Yeah, it would have a different name in the US. It'd be Desire Z.
No, I think it was a Google branded phone in the US when it launched.
But is this Google it? One. I'm looking at this.
I'm not looking at the stream. It'll take a second.
Oh yeah, it's like it slid out from the side.
It was like an alligator. Like it's hard to describe. It was like it came up and out a little bit.
No. Okay, so you're talking about the HTC Dream.
Yes.
The HTC Dream. I had that phone. It was the first Android phone released in Canada.
At the point that I got it, it was called the Desire Z. So I had an Android. I went from that to an iPhone 5, back to a Samsung Galaxy S5, and then ultimately landed back on an iPhone and haven't looked back. So you'd have to pay me, and I would switch, but of my own volition, I would not switch from iOS back to Android.
Yeah, I cannot in good faith recommend the previous Pixel 4, but the 4a actually seems pretty good.
But anyway, those xCloud accessories actually do kind of look cool. They're very reminiscent of the Nintendo Switch, and might, if they do ever become available, and if like the service ever becomes available on iOS, it would be interesting to actually play like a game on it like that.
There's one with thumbsticks in the right place, even.
Oh,
maybe
really?
It'll fix the rest of the Xbox brands.
Yeah, it's just that 8-bit one, right?
I'm surprised the design.
There was another one too.
I'm surprised the Design Lab controllers don't actually let you change the placement of them. That feels like that would be the next logical step. Is like if you really are just like make your own controller, like just let people literally make their own controller.
The thing is, they're not going to do that though because the sticks are already in the right spot. I wish PlayStation did it.
I mean, they should charge like $50 extra if you're going to be a heathen, but like let people do it.
I could not play. I tried to play Halo on xCloud with a DualShock. It was not right, and I had to get an Xbox controller for that reason. But I think we can move on into It's Raining Deals. I grabbed a couple this week, and if you guys have anything else, you can throw them in. But right now, Final Fantasy VII Remake is on sale for just under $55.
I feel like, I don't know, if we're going to highlight a deal, this feels like kind of a weak choice.
It's one of the best games of the year.
I agree.
On sale for 34% off. So it's worth checking out if you haven't gotten to it yet. As well, the Lego Marvel collection, which is Lego Marvel Superheroes, Lego Marvel's Avengers, and Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, are all on sale for 75% off. And in Canada, that'll run you about $20.
Is that on all platforms?
It's on PlayStation for sure, is where I pulled it from. You'd have to verify for other platforms. Both of these I found on PlayStation.
Just to go over those, 2 of the 3 of those games are really easy platinums. They require a little bit of time, but they're fun platinums to put into. The other one has some pain in the ass stuff to get the platinum.
Which is the easy one? Is it the not Avengers, right? It's Superheroes 2? Or
yeah, Superheroes 2 is the harder one because they put all these extra challenges in it that you have to do. So it's just like there's another layer that makes it much more complicated to get the platinum. But I had a lot of fun getting the platinum for both of them. And Greg Miller does the voice of
Howard
Armie
the Duck.
Hammer.
No,
all the kind of
Killian. He does the voice of Killian, right?
But he was in the Lego Marvel
Avengers. It's Killian.
Yeah, that's right. And you get a trophy that says Beyond when you
which is great.
him. Yep.
Yeah, because I own Superheroes 1 and Avengers on PlayStation. I'm close to the Avengers plat. The Lego Marvel Superhero was the first platinum I got on PS4. Yep, both games are great. I own the second one on the Switch. It's also great. So if you're interested in Lego games at all, if you have kids or just want to have a good time in a complete Marvel Avengers package, that's probably the place to do it.
Yep, agree.
And I think with that...
Oh, wait, I've got a deal.
Okay.
I didn't write it down. Get Fall Guys if you have PS Plus because it's free.
Yeah,
that's quite the deal.
I'm just putting this out there. When we had the conversation the other week about ketchup on mac and cheese, it really hit home. Like I was really disappointed with the way that went.
In what way?
And I can't believe there's so many people that are opposed to the best way to eat Kraft dinner. And I came here for you guys. I knew you needed me for the news. You needed me to host this, but I don't know how much longer I can do this. I'm being dead serious here. So I think we need to run an ad for those on Twitch. And in the meantime, I gotta take a minute, regroup, and honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna be back.
This is all very sudden. I wish you had told me beforehand.
I'm so happy you finally came to this decision. Now time for our podcast to actually get good.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Press YYZ After Dark.
The adults are gone.
If nobody was going to replace him here, I would have put the picture of the frowny ketchup mac and cheese from last week.
So I looked it up. It actually costs.
Who's running the ad?
Well, are you subscribed? Are you subscribed to our channel?
Yeah.
If you are, then you won't get one.
Subscribers, then you're not going to see it.
Yeah. Okay. For the record, he did. For the record, yeah, exactly. Mitch did run the ad, correct, Mitch?
Yeah. No, he's just gone. Also, like half of the people who are watching probably are also subscribed because I'm literally looking at the chat and everyone's just like Adam is just like, I don't know what's going on.
This is why you got to keep talking when you're running an ad because you don't know if somebody's still watching you.
All this is getting cut out, but you know.
No, I think you should leave it in.
Yeah, I think this is a great discussion.
Hello.
Did he?
Hello.
No.
Okay, good.
Is it muted?
No, you're good.
No, we can hear you.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back. Oh, he's back.
I forgot my
phone. Oh God.
He's upset.
Hey, Mitch, hold on. Did you run the ad before you left?
Did you run the
ad? I don't think he did.
No, I thought they would. I don't know how to do it.
Jesus Christ.
This is why you can't cut this out, Alex.
I'll keep some of this, I guess.
Wait, do you want me to go in and run the ad?
No.
No, don't bother.
Okay,
this is too late. Advertisement like this. This is an advertisement for this podcast. If you don't want to subscribe after that, then I don't know what will make you want to subscribe.
That was very excellent.
So hello.
Yeah.
We're gonna help you.
Mitch just abandoned us.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
I guess we're gonna work together to build him a computer.
That's what it says in the doc.
Yeah, I'm not totally certain how this is gonna go. But we'll figure it out as we go along.
Ask some questions so we can get an idea of how we're building this.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
so
who's taking the lead on this?
Okay, if we're gonna build,
see, I feel like Mitch. I know that the whole point is that Mitch is not supposed to be here, but I still feel like he needs to be guiding us in some fashion. He can't just be completely excluded from the rest of this episode.
Oh no, we're building a potato.
Yeah, we're gonna,
Yeah.
Intel Pentium.
Grab me some paper. Sorry, guys. It's gonna get a little loud.
You know what I was thinking the other day? They should bring the Pentium name back.
Oh yeah, dude, you're getting Adele.
Okay.
We're ordering Adele for you.
Yeah.
So for those who are unaware, the new voice that you're hearing is Carmen, Mitch's fiance.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the
Hi,
podcast.
Carmen.
Hey, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for coming to my birthday back in March.
Oh yeah, no problem. It was a lot of fun. It was actually our last time out.
Yeah, it was.
Actually, like at a restaurant. So.
Yeah. All right. So, I guess listeners have heard your name on the podcast before. Just quickly, how long have you known Mitch, and how long have you been engaged? Give us a quick, 30-second rundown on that.
So I've known Mitch since 2008. So we're 16. We met in driving school in high school.
Oh,
That's
wow.
actually how we met. And we've been together. It'll be 10 years. A week after our wedding, which is very, very close and very nerve-wracking right now because of everything that's going on.
Yep.
And we've been engaged for 2 years. It'll be 2 years September 5th.
Wow.
6th. September 6th. Sorry. So yes, it's soon to that anniversary, but yeah.
So, okay. So we've been told that you are being kind enough to allocate some funds for him to build a computer. Is this true?
That is his wedding gift, yes.
That
That's
is
what
his
he
wedding
asked for,
gift?
So it's a nice
All right.
wedding gift for
A big
Sorry.
nerd.
yes, exactly. That's how I was like, I don't know if I can say that on this.
Oh, don't worry. We can all make fun of him, no problem.
We make fun of him a lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
he's in the kitchen. As you can see the light.
yes,
Put the food away.
Yeah. He usually
classic
doesn't.
Mitch.
Yeah.
So okay, so I guess where we need to start to help you out with this at the moment is how much is Mitch worth to you?
Well, I think we've capped it. What do we cap it at? 2.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah. How much does the computer actually cost?
Okay.
It depends
So,
what we're doing with the computer. It's completely scalable.
The computer that I custom built earlier this year cost me about $1,500, but with like my new keyboard, for example, with like my new mouse, with all that like extra stuff that you don't necessarily count as part of the chassis, it was about $2,000.
Okay, so yeah, I think we're about like 2,500 each.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Yeah.
That's a good amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That actually gives a whole lot of wiggle room to
Yeah.
from what the little bit that I was doing before the podcast. So
And
that's
this-
actually like
this needs to include a monitor as well, right?
Yeah, I did hear Mitch say at one point that he had hoped to include at least one monitor in this
Yeah.
setup. Okay, so it sounds like I've taken the lead on this at the moment, even though I'm not probably the most knowledgeable when it comes to PC building, but I'll toss it over to Alex in a sec. So, Carmen, do you have the run of show doc open on the computer there? By any
No.
chance?
it's
Oh, yeah,
a
show
Google
document,
Doc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
there.
so there's a link under there under the tots where Carmen builds Mitch a PC called the
Yep.
second link called logical increments. I want you to open that link up.
Phil even
don't-
let me.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, here he comes.
So
No, the second one. No, Mitchell, the second one. Yeah. There
At
we
this
go.
point, he should just like stay right there, but not have the headphones on. Just
Yeah,
We
I
need
know.
like a beeper or a bell or something like that so you can signal to him.
okay,
Yeah.
so first things first, you're going to see a little drop down menu where it says the country there, and you're just going to want to make sure you change that to Canada.
Mhm.
And then you're going to see kind of like this rainbow on the screen here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's going to give us kind of a window as to where to look here in terms of pricing. This is something that I used years ago when I built my own computer, which I, a couple years after that, fried, sadly. But I think this will give us a good place to start. So that being said, I'm gonna hand this over to you, Alex, at this point, because you're able to be a little more technical here.
For those of you who can't see what's going on screen, could you explain what logicalincrements.com is exactly?
Yeah. Okay. So it's a website where somebody who the person who runs this website has gone ahead and found it may not be like necessarily everybody's first choice for parts or whatever, but he built computers, not didn't build these computers, but sourced these parts to different, places to buy them for, kind of to get you the best deal here. But also to the best try blah, blah, blah. I'm stumbling over my words. A good build to try and get you the best bang for your buck here when it comes to computer parts. And when you click on any one of these things in the rainbow things here, it's going to open up and just kind of give you a list of parts from the graphics card, the case, the CPU, the amount of RAM that you're going to want, the power supply you're going to need, and just all of those to just build the computer. This list here doesn't have room for a doesn't have monitors and stuff on it, but we can get to that in a bit. So,
all right.
If we're do you have something to say, Nathan?
No, I was just gonna say we should start talking about the parts and where we.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, and I think we should probably start with the CPU, just because the CPU then kind of determines motherboard, and so I mean, even though he's not here, I was literally talking to him before the podcast, and he was talking about how he was probably wanting to do a Ryzen 7.
A Ryzen 7?
Yeah, and I think that gives him, because it's an 8 core. So what you can write down is an AMD Ryzen 7 3700X 3.6 GHz.
Yeah, I think the AMD processor is the way to go, and the Ryzen 7 is probably what we're building probably makes sense.
Yeah. It's also it gives him the flexibility if he wants to stream, and if he wants to potentially do any like content creation, like if he wants to like export something in Adobe Premiere, it's all possible, as well as being a very, very good gaming CPU. So it gives him a lot of wiggle room in what he can and can't do with it.
Good flexibility.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Agree.
From there, it would be, so motherboards are where I was kind of running into a little bit of trouble, just because because the motherboard and the CPU have to go together.
They have to match. Yeah.
Does he need Wi-Fi?
No, he has Wi-Fi.
No, but
okay. Will this computer need Wi-Fi?
Like,
do you think?
Is the computer currently hardwired in?
No. Yeah, so Wi-Fi is probably needed.
Wi-Fi is probably helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I recommend the board I got?
Mate, did you get the same CPU?
Here, I got a Ryzen 5, but they should be the same.
Whatever.
Tell me what it is, and because I have the PC part picker up right now, and PC part picker does the automatic compatibility. So if you can let me know what it's called, I can see if it works.
Yeah, it was the MSI B450.
B450.
Carbon or gaming Carbon Pro Max Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Okay. Add. Compatibility is good.
Alex, do you think you could share with me the PC part picker list that you're currently creating?
Sure. We're gonna let me save it. And okay. think they should be. I posted it in Discord. So this is kind of like what I threw together. There's no monitor yet, but that was before I knew that was going to be needed, and also the 2500. So yeah, that motherboard should be good. Did you get that, Carmen, or would you like me to repeat that?
Hold on a sec. I don't see anything. I think you have to make sure that you can make it public.
Okay. I haven't used PC Part Picker in a long time, so
it's not a problem.
A second. Can you get it? How about that? See that one? Because I opened that in incognito and it works, so you should be able to get
that
it.
one worked.
Okay, cool.
You're good. Yep.
Okay. So from there, CPU cooler. I would recommend a water cooling radiator. So
water cooling.
Ooh. It's all like built in. Like you literally don't have to like put water in it. It's all already in the thing.
I see. Okay.
You just have to mount it.
See, I did. I just used fans for the PC that I built. But I mean, if the water is all built in, then I mean, I'd say go for it.
It's the same. It's literally the same concept. You just mount the fans to wherever you choose inside your case, and then the water's already in the tubes, and you just put the cooling thing on top of the CPU like you would any other cooler. So yeah, the Corsair ICUE H100i is I mean, I have a Corsair one myself, and they're a very consistent brand, and the price that you're paying for it is probably the how you'd want to go with that, because you don't really want to skimp on that, because if you do, I've heard stories on like the PC Master Race subreddit of, oh, my water cooler leaked and now my PC got flooded. So you want to go a little bit more expensive with that. So from there we can jump into the RAM. I kind of just chose so Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro 32 gigs.
Now, why do you choose 32 gigs over just the plain 16 out of curiosity?
So I asked Mitch how much he wanted, and he said like 16 would be the lowest he would go.
Okay.
And because of like the price range and how I was kind of balancing it, I was like, this works. And it's DDR4 as well, so it's like it's real fast memory, which is good. So from there we can do storage. I was because I was thinking that this had to be in the 2000 price range, so I kind of went. So I did a Western Digital Blue 1 terabyte 2.5 solid state drive.
Now, are we going to do just a solid state drive, or are we also going to do a non-solid state drive as well?
Yeah, like a 2 terabyte.
That's what I'm thinking should be the case now. I was thinking like if he with the price range, if he only could have the one hard drive, you want it to be an SSD, and so but because of that we can add, let me see if I can find like just a very solid one. This one. Okay, so I don't know if it would have updated on the, let me save it again, and you might just need to, oh no wait, I think it saves by itself. I don't know, this website's weird.
It's not changing when I refresh it, but I don't think that
I can save it again and then just post the link again.
It's fine. We can.
I can overwrite. Okay, it should be saved if you refresh. Okay, so the next hard drive is a Seagate Barracuda 4 terabyte 3.5 5400 RPM internal hard drive.
Unfortunately it's not refreshing on my end.
It's the only piece that isn't in the list already, so we can just kind of go with that.
Now, Alex, should we do an SSD like a standard SSD or an NVMe?
What I can't. Those are the ones that go into the PCI ports, right? Yeah. So the reason why I didn't do that is because one of the, I think AJ, you were about to say it, so I'm sorry I cut you off, but one of the stipulations that Mitch has with this computer is that he is getting a capture card from TJ, our private Jeebus, and it requires an extra PCI slot. And so,
but they're not a standard PCI slot they take. They have special
Oh.
M2 slots on the motherboard.
Oh, okay.
So in fact, actually, I have one on my motherboard. There's a spot for a second one that I can put in. It's not a standard PCI slot.
Okay.
It's an M.2 slot.
Okay, so it might be worth, if you don't mind pulling that up, it might be worth swapping the Western Digital for that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
because
Mitch is chatting.
My capture card is a PCIe slot.
Yeah, the PCI.
I was just watching this instead of just being here.
No, I think he'd rather just.
Is he playing Fall Guys?
No,
I swear to God. Okay, good.
He's sitting in the kitchen, just on his.
Pouting to himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably eating some Kraft dinner with ketchup.
Kraft dinner.
While he's crying.
No. What do you make? Curry?
Yes, red lentil and sweet potato curry.
Red lentil.
This is what he just shared with us.
Yeah.
I wish he made Kraft dinner.
Wait, what is it? Why did he link this?
Yeah, what?
No, that's lunch tomorrow.
I don't know. If he was here, he could explain it to us.
What is this power line? Ask him what. Carmen, can you ask him what this power line adapter starter kit is that he linked?
This power line adapter starter kit thing that you linked.
You don't have to use Wi-Fi that way.
Oh, so you don't have to use Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I don't think that really changes the build as much. The other nice thing about the Wi-Fi boards is that they include Bluetooth as well.
I might have to buy this myself. Yeah, because my motherboard doesn't have onboard Wi-Fi.
I made sure I got one with Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Because you can get a Western Digital blue one for $149, and it's an M.2 slot. I'm looking right up here on parts. So I would go with that one.
Okay, so you can cross out the Western Digital blue one that I said, and then what Nathan is about to say is the one that you can replace it with.
Okay.
Yes, it's also a Western Digital blue, but it's
I just crossed it out.
It's a different Western Digital too, because it's a completely different size here. Here, if I just copy and paste it into the group, I think Cozy can put a picture up. There.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
This is riveting podcast material, let me tell you.
I mean, we're getting pretty good numbers on Twitch right now.
We appreciate every single one of you who is listening to this.
Oh, we are. We're getting great Twitch numbers. So yeah, so that will just plug right into the motherboard. It's got a little spot, and there's a shield on the motherboard that covers over top of it.
Okay.
So
yeah,
and they're faster than your standard SSDs because of how they plug in.
Mm-hmm. Are we confident though that Mitch can handle all this?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
Hope so.
I knew barely anything about building a PC when I made mine, and I managed.
It's definitely not as it's daunting to think about, but once you get into it, it's very straightforward.
As somebody who's really scared and did it recently, I actually did very, very well. I was really impressed with how well I did it, and I want to come help him build it because I want to build more PCs because it was super fun.
It is
sure,
fun.
come on over.
The last time I did it was 4 years ago, and I want to do it again.
You got the itch. Yeah.
So
all right.
Next we can jump to video cards, which is probably one of the more important.
Just one thing.
Rush.
What's the Western Digital blue? What's the number attached to that one?
M.2.
It's
just close it.
2280 solid state drive.
2280 solid state drive.
Yeah.
1 terabyte.
Also, unfortunately, the way that PC parts are they're very much all over the place. So you might need to look in a couple of places. Amazon is pretty good. There's also Canada Computers is another really good place. Okay.
Memory Express. It's a company out west.
That was going to be the next one.
Yeah, they price match everything. You can price match easily off their website. So just do all your price matching for everybody through all the things there, and just have them send it to you. That way, you're not shopping off multiple sites.
What are they? What are they?
I was more just worried about the because we're not looking in one specific place. We're kind of using a place that kind of brings all the parts together. It might be. I was just more worried about the stock of all of these.
There's one in Hamilton actually.
There is one in Hamilton. They're opening one in London soon as well. You know, when COVID stops being a pain in the ass.
When things can open.
Yeah.
So this next piece is the video card, which is very important. It's probably like it's going to be one of the most important things in the entire build. And so like MSI GeForce RTX 2070, the MSI part is not as important as just the GeForce RTX 2070.
Do you want the 2070 or would you like a 2070S? Is there a what's
I don't know what
S
the difference between this.
super.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what the main difference between the super is. If it like, is it worth the price to performance?
I'm not entirely sure.
I'm gonna look up and see how much a super costs.
Yeah.
Because yeah, they're like you add an extra, like at least an extra $100 bare minimum, depending on which manufacturer you go with. So I don't know if the price to performance is exceptionally that much different. So I would say like when you're looking, sort of look, as long as it's like a GeForce RTX 2070, the manufacturer for it is not as important, I would say. I don't know of like one that is particularly worse than the other.
One of my philosophies when it comes to a graphics card is I like the ones with the 3 fans on them because more fans equals more cooling usually. So that's just my take.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So cases, the main thing you're looking for with the case is that you want it to be an ATX mid-tower case because you probably don't want it to be huge.
No,
mid-tower is a good size.
I noticed that
Sorry, go ahead, Cozy.
Well, I just want to say quickly, I noticed that the case that you chose doesn't have RGB on it.
So
for those not in the know, RGB just means that it has colorful, flashy lights that make your thing look real cool if it's on stream.
So again, I asked Mitch what his thoughts were on RGB, and he told me he doesn't love it, he doesn't hate it, and he also, like, if he could have the option not to have it, but it doesn't matter if the price to performance is better. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just putting not to add it. Because if he doesn't want it to be all flashy, then...
See, I'm in a weird space where I love the RGB on my computer. My chassis has RGB on it, but unfortunately, I can barely see much of the chassis because the way that my desk is set up, the location that it's put on my desk, a lot of it is covered up. Yeah, I'd say that, yeah, if you can show it off on stream, then like you definitely want to shell out for some RGB, but if not, it's probably not that important.
Well, and Mitch is going to have
right under the desk.
That motherboard has some RGB on it. The RAM next to you has RGB. The cooler has some RGB on it.
Yeah, and if he really wants it, we can tell him about, like, you can buy specific case fans. Yeah, that have RGB. So
I've still got to buy some fans to put in mine.
Or you can cover it in Christmas lights or anything of that nature.
Yeah, or just get an LED light strip. Like there's plenty of options if he changes his mind. So the case is a PHANTEKS. I think that's Fantex Eclipse P300A mesh ATX mid tower case.
I'm pretty sure that Fantex was a Bionicle line at one point.
Can you not just send this entire list to her afterwards?
Yeah,
I will definitely do that. Just, we gotta have the content for the podcast.
We have to have the conversation.
That's fair. Okay.
Like these are the notes so far, so I'm almost down a page. So
okay, there's not too much left. I'll also add a monitor as well, just because now that we know that is required, and I also know what.
Make sure the monitor is 1 millisecond.
I was gonna choose a 1440 1 millisecond 1440p monitor, just because if you're getting a 2070, get a 1440p. You don't need 4K is too much, but like 1080 is probably too little. So next is the power supply, which I decided to go with a Corsair RM 2019 750 watt 80 plus gold certified fully modular ATX power supply.
This is the way to go. Fully modular. I wish my power supply was modular. Not to mention that should give the extra power outputs for the motherboard and the I can't even talk. The motherboard and the graphics card.
Yeah, and the capture card, and like it also the 750 is going to be like way more than enough for potential expansion, because this is like this is a computer that you build and then you in like a few years you take out a part and you replace it with something else, like where it's like you can expand on the structure of what you've done already.
Right. So for those not in the know, fully modular, as I understand it, means that basically like there are no like preset wires sticking out of the back of the power supply. You can plug in and plug out whatever wires you need to suit your power supply needs.
It also just makes cable management so much easier. Which,
you don't need the cables you don't need, which is awesome.
Should we consider putting a floppy disk drive in this?
No.
Wait, hold on. A floppy disk drive?
Yeah.
You mean the save icon?
Yeah.
Like a 5 1/4 inch?
Yeah, full floppy.
Who doesn't enjoy a nice floppy floppy drive?
I thought for a second you meant like a CD drive, and I was maybe.
Drive too. Might as well.
I did ask if he wanted an optical drive, and he did say no. So next after that is a copy of Windows 10. That's easy.
Easy.
Yeah. Finally, the monitor, because we're not adding any other peripherals. So let me just look quickly and just see if I can get
I hear good things continuously about these LG monitors.
Refresh rate. Let me go up to 144. And he did say preferably 27-inch is what he would want if he's getting an NVIDIA card. I think NVIDIA actually works with G-Sync. Okay, so what I would say, looking at this right here, is...
Are we just getting him one, or do we want to
just
double
one?
I would say 2.
Okay.
2 monitors? Because like the desk that I'm sitting at right now, my work monitors are on it.
Okay, so if that's the case, then
do you think these are? 24? Yeah, I can easily fit 27s on here.
Okay,
like
so if
2
that's
of
the
them.
case, then you'd probably want like the one that you're going to use for like you could probably be like one, of the like the 2560 by 1440, and then you'd want then the next one be just like a regular standard 1080p one, because
27?
you're not using that for gaming.
25, 27.
Okay, they're 25, 27.
I'm trying
They're
to
the
see.
same, Mitch.
Okay.
Or you just want to be in the camera.
Go Spider-Man.
That's 4 milliseconds. Okay. I'm trying to see like what is like a good option that's okay. So I would say I just added it. I don't know if it's gonna save. This is a Asus TUF Gaming VG27BQ 27-inch 2560 times 1440 165 hertz monitor. This is what I wish I had right now.
Could you share a link to it?
Yes, I will post that in just a second. I'll post the PC part picker link. Yeah, this is a monitor that I wish I would have. It's got G-Sync as well, which will work with the graphics card he's getting, because it is NVIDIA, and that works. Even though I think NVIDIA does actually work with AMD FreeSync. I think it's the other way around that it doesn't work, but most monitors don't actually have G-Sync.
And you could get this price match to $500 instead of $540 at Memory Express.
Yep.
Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they'll beat it by 10% if there's a price difference.
Oh.
Okay. Interesting. I need to look into Memory Express. Yeah, I got all my parts at Canada Computers like 4 years ago.
I was going to use them, but I had so many problems with their website and like trying to get stock, because they a lot of stock in stores that said it was available, but not really, because it's in stores and not in their main warehouse.
Oh, okay.
So it was a giant problem for me to try and find parts, where when I did it all through Memory Express, they all shipped it to me, out of the communal warehouse. And my graphics card was actually an open box, which they called me to ask if that was okay. And I was like, I guess so. And they're like, and we'll give you an extra 10% off of it. And I'm like, all right, sweet. As long as it works.
Yeah.
They're like, we tested it. So And when I messed up on my motherboard because I realized I didn't get one with Wi-Fi and I would need Wi-Fi for it, and I wanted Bluetooth into it, I emailed them and they called me pretty quickly, and we switched them out. So we're like just really good experience with Memory Express overall. Hey, Memory Express, we're always accepting sponsors, just an FYI. So,
I mean, why not support the Canadian podcast? So with that,
computer parts, that'd be great.
Yeah. So with that, I think that kind of wraps it all up. I think, that's a pretty comprehensive list of everything you would need. It's got the one monitor so far. You can kind of figure out a second one after that. But I think with that, like that kind of fits almost into the price range. And then depending on if you get it from like Memory Express, it probably will fit at the end of the day in it. So yeah, do you have any questions for us? Or do you think, because so on PC Part Picker, the total comes to 2,760.
Oh, okay, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, and
that's like what I expected.
That's including the monitors and
Windows
everything.
10 and
Windows 10 and everything.
And this is also like enthusiast level, like this is something this is an investment that you're making that you will not have to do anything for it for the next at least 4 years probably.
Easy.
Yeah, like this is top of the line stuff. Like for the price that you're paying, this is pretty top of the line. Like if you wanted to go, like if you spent like, you'd have to spend like an extra like $1,000 to get even just like a slight boost on what
performance boost.
Yeah. Like the price to performance at this point, like it falls off a cliff. So thank you for indulging us and letting us, give you some advice on how to make Mitch happy.
We should get you on a regular podcast sometime.
That'd be cool.
Figure out how to do that.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. He's taking out the garbage now.
Is he going to take himself out with it, apparently?
I hope so.
So I guess we have to wrap up this show.
Yeah.
Sure.
So thank you for listening to Press YYZ. Everyone in Twitch and on podcast services. If you want to find us on Twitter, you can find us at Press YYZ. Cozy, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Alex Kozina, and you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/CozyRealLive. We're actually going to be playing a bit of Fall Guys together on that Twitch channel in just a bit. So please go over there and stay tuned for that.
Very exciting indeed. Nathan, where can people find you?
Follow me on Twitter at @the_NMAC, as well as check out my reviews on PS4blog.net. I didn't get a chance to talk to him because we were running out of time during the show, but I've got reviews for Scully, which is the neat little rolling platformer puzzle thingy that I played, and a really bullet hell pinball game called Demon's Tilt, which is actually subtitled Occult Pinball Action. So very interesting.
AJ, where can people find you?
You can find me all over the internet at TimesHero, capital T, capital H.
Okay, Carmen, do you want to plug Mitch?
Whoa.
Walked away. Sure, no problem. So
I mean,
you can find him
if you want. You can
look
No,
if
I'm
he's
really
into
boring.
that. Let's not shame him.
No, I'm not shaming him. I'm just saying this. Cozy's mom might be watching.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, Cozy's mom. Happy birthday.
You can find him on like Mr. Mitch George on I think everywhere, and then Mitch George on Facebook, and no, I think it's Mr. Mitch George on everything else.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that is his handle. And you can find me, the person who, for some reason, had to take over the podcast at the very end. You can find me blatantly_Alex on Twitter, blatantly Alex on Instagram. I'm going to be streaming because I now have the setup capable of doing that, and I won't die of heat stroke at blatantly Alex on Twitch and YouTube when I eventually make a video, blatantly Alex. Thank you for playing.
Oh, it looks like he tagged me and he plugged my Instagram. He plugged my Instagram.
Take care, guys.
Check out Carmen's Instagram.
Bye.
Bye.